Welcome. This is Crime Queen, and if you're joining us for the first time, this is the channel where we get excited about love. This is where we ignite that which comes from within us, that which comes alive, makes us smile, makes us laugh. Hence, we say the crimson light is life. So, the crimson light is our journey to actualizing self full love. On this journey, we are having fun with words and numbers, and of course, relishing in the idea that we are alive, that we have expectations, expectations because we are aware, expectations because we are seeing. So the expectations is of growth, of enlightenment, of joy, of harmony, of self-awareness, self-realization, self monitoring, if you like. Yes, we need to do that. We need to monitor ourselves. That's important, so we know where we're at. How do you know whether you're in the north, south, east, or west if you don't monitor yourself? Okay, so there we are. Of course, reminder, opening our third eye. That's what it's about. When we do that, of course, sometimes we don't really need to do much monitoring. We always know where we are because the numbers are there to remind us. When we see two of the same numbers, we know we are doubling that frequency. We know we are on par. Okay, so let's continue. Of course, I've got to continue with wisdom. Wisdom has so much. I've got to take breaks between wisdom because I suppose that's exercising wisdom in itself. All right, so I thought in the break time I would complete this that I had mentioned that I would do, have the words from Revelation. Yes, Revelation, which is part of our template, of course. There you are. In case you are new to this channel, let's just fix this back in place. Okay, so in case you are new to this channel, here we are with Revelation. We have water as well and television. All right, so there we go. Revelation. That's the word, revelation. Of course, we've added the numerical values, which comes to the number 13. 13, that is not when the doors are shut. That is 1 3. 1 and 3 is 4. But when the doors are shut, you don't know what goes on within 13. So to give you a demonstration of what 13 is like when the doors are open and shut. There we are. 1, 3. But when the doors are shut, this is 13. It's a bee. It's a wisdom tooth. It's a dome. It's breasts. It's buttocks. It's honey milking. It's 13. It's L. This is 3 and 3 here again. So this is 4 and 6. It's 10. There is so much, and if you had 10 and 5 would be 15. So there is so much happening here. Yes. In fact, it takes the whole Bible. It consumes and constitutes the whole Bible. That's what we've done. And so you can find my presentation on wisdom, perhaps number 4 5, but it's definitely in 2 so far. So let's go into Revelation, of course, because this is about revelation. Now I think I've rubbed a number here. It probably is IN, but we will see what it is. Okay, all right. So revelation, what I like about doing these exercises, because it brings out words that you would not have otherwise thought it entailed. But of course, those words are in Revelation, and they are also meant to be taken heed of because they constitute, they're not just like little worms around Revelation. The actual, they hold frequency and meanings in the word revelation. So of course we have Eve. Of course you saw Eve. Eve is really, of course, I have been also sort of half mixing or mixing my values of the V in Eve. At times it seemed like five, the V, and other times 4. Of course, in Roman numbers, it's 5, but in numerology, in simple numerological values, it's 4. So I'm hoping that I am putting this right, because I have been trying to, of course, it's all part of the learning, all part of the learning, yes, but once we get our template, you can see, you can double check my figures. Okay, all right, so if we have elation. Now, I hadn't done the numerical value on this, and but let's just go through this. We have elation, we have on. We have on a nation, elation on a nation. Let's just, it's sounding good. We'll stick the A here. So elation on a nation, relation, we should have regarding relation, okay, level, iron, and I've rubbed off this word here. Interesting word that we never would have thought. Tail. What would tail have to do with revelation? Yes, because that's what I was talking about in another presentation. You go to bed like this, and then you get up like that. You have to deal with the tail when you are in revelation, because head to toe. That's what it's about. Okay, you may say no, as no is here, but later you will relate to, never mind whether you are late, and run your liver and veil and vial and veil and veil and ill and nail. Now I have nylon. Now that's another interesting word. Why would nylon to do, what would nylon have to do with Revelation? This is the Revelation. This is the last book of the Bible. And that has been written for God knows how long. Yes. Was there nylon? I don't know if nylon was already invented. But there you go. There you go. Or perhaps it means to lie on. That's another thing. Or perhaps it means kneel on. Because that's the other thing I always have to remember or remind myself, that the words actually they derive from our biological system, they derive from our behavior. So yes, it's to kneel on, because this is really kneel, N-I-L, kneel by mouth, kneel. And so why would they call a fabric or nylon? You kneel on this thing, kneel on, nylon. Okay, so it's kneel. It's kneel. You kneel on it. Because that's the thing we are given. And the scriptures tell us that I have not given you the spirit of fear, but the spirit of sound mind. Though you get lots of other teachings that tells you about come to the Lord in fear and trembling. So he's more or less saying to you, that fear you have adopted. Come. But I have not given you that. You have made it up. You have formulated this, whatever it is you call it, fear. It is one of the things you have created through all what I gave you, of course. So come. I have not given you the spirit of fear, but the spirit of sound mind. Never mind, of course, come to me with fear and trembling, because he recognizes that's the language you use to associate that which you are experiencing. Okay. Then we have nylon, kneel. There's always a rat. There's always a rat around. There is always a rat. And I think if you were to turn this back to front, it would be tar. Tar would be dark and sticky. So, I suppose the two kind of behave the same, in some way. I'm just thinking the two would behave the same, but I'm seeing tar and a rat, and I'm not sure they really look alike, but but I suppose they both kind of generate a kind of energy that you probably don't really want to lay your hands on. So there is some kind of correlation somewhere with rat and tar. Okay. River, ever flowing, the river. Yes, so river comes in all kinds of forms. River of emotions, river of laughter, river of riches. A river. I like the idea of river. River because it's the experience or experiences that we go through that ripples. They ripple into many. They just ripple out. It's just gush. It gushes down, and so you that is river of emotions, river of or experiences. So river is very it'd be interesting to make a to add this up, river, and see, because there's the river, the four heads that broke in Genesis, and river in fact is really us. It's the four heads. That's what I think anyway. But of course, if you were to go into Revelation, you would be getting a lot about these four heads. Okay, but I also believe it's the forehead hair, and perhaps the forehead, the four rivers. There is just so much. Yes, the four heads. You see, the language has been played with, but four has always been four. Whether it's for someone, whether it's before someone, even if it was 4 and 8. However, I think it just means four. Four as in number of direction or number of digits. Okay, so R and I is 99, 18 and 19, 20, 22, 22 and 9, 22 and 9. Let's just do 9 and, okay, 22 and 9, that's 11, that's 31, and 5 is 36. 36. So there we are. 3 and 6 is 9, and that takes you to the total number of the sacrifice. That's what river does. That's what sacrifice is. It just flows. It's the rippling of all these emotions. That sacrifice, you sip it out, you birth it out. The river just flushes out. Hence, when a woman is pregnant, her water breaks, ready to flush out. Well, flush for a baby is not, does not sound very, but well, if you could just do that and endure less pain, well, why not? Okay, but all right. So there we go. River, and of course, ever flowing. So if we were to, ever is very good too because it constitutes Eve, like river. Well, I and E sounds the same. IVE, Ivy. It'd be nice for people to really take note of their names. There are not many Ivies around anymore, but those names were really, they have meaning. This is the thing. It's like a tree and it grows, and the trunk is very potent in its way. Of course, leaves have its glory and beauty as well, but it's really what stands. Well, let's just see this. So 9 and 5 is 14. Let's see, 12, 13, 14, of course, because it's my favorite number, 9 and 5. I always say when these two are together, 5 and 9, when they are together, it's just, okay. And here's another 9, 5 and 4. Okay, 5 and 4 is 9. So 9, 9, 18, 19, 20, 23. 23. Now, this is the thing when Christ is ever. Christ is ever. This is I don't mean crisis. It sounds like crisis, but no, Christ, the Jesus Christ is ever. Jesus Christ is ever because Christ equals ever. 5 and 5 is the same. Christ is ever. Is the equation. It gives you that equal sign. So is really means those two dashes. That tells you the more than or the less than, but in actual fact it is. Okay, so now I like that, ever. So when we use ever, we know we are, it puts us on this pinnacle. It puts us on the tip of an A, a capital A, and we forever, we ever. Yes. So 9 is river, ever is 5. So ever river, river ever. Okay. All right. Even. Let's try even. EVEN. Now, even. This is what, of course, Eve was about. Eve, her job is to even things up, iron them. That's why it seemed like women have to just do the ironing. Okay, we have got the word iron as well, actually. Okay, so let's do even. Let's stick to even. 5 and 5, 10, 3 5s 15, and 4 is 19. So even. Now that's what I have been explaining about such words that give you like is. Even and is on the same frequency. 10. Here we go again. EVEN. 5, 10, 15, and 4 is 19. 1 and 9 is 10. And that's what even is about. So IS is 9. 9, I is 9, and S is 1. 9 and 1. It's just the reverse, but the same thing. They both go in the same place. Oh, yes. All right. So we have never. These are other words. So even, I'll just put 1 here. And ever was 5. Ever was 5. Yes. And river is 9. I think it's nice to do that. And we have in again. 9 and 5 stands right here side by side, and this is 14, the first word in the King James, in the beginning. Well, they have other words on those little pages, but when you get to Genesis, the first word in Genesis, after the heading of Genesis, of course, you have in. This is it. The in is that be that I told you constitute everything, and I showed it in the presentation. Okay, so we have in. So this is 5. 5. It started with 5. That's why it is said that 5 is such an abundant number. It's the number of grace. I think if you have grace, you also have race. And if you have race, you also have ace. And if you have ace, you also see. That's another one. Okay. So we have even, inner, over, neat. And I'm not sure what word is here. Oh, eat, of course. There's always food. This is what happens in the agreement section in the B column. Over the tables, like I talked about. Neat. I wonder if we should also have neat, N-E-A-T as well. Okay. But you have neat, N-I-T. And these some little hair insects. Okay. Neat. Neat. N-E-A-T. So Revelation it deals with everything. It just deals with everything, and that means it's alive. Alive, yes, I have alive. Alone, not torn, and it's lion. Again, we had nylon, but here we have lion. We have lie, evil. With evil, still we have lie. Tavlon. I don't remember what Tavlon is, but it just is a name that just sprang up and it just felt really right. So eight, we have eight and eight. Yes. We have reveal, we have leave, reiterate, or lion. So we have a lovely set of words here. I'm just going to stick these up in case, of course, I want to get back to them as well because I have to be rubbing things off. So this is, yes, revelation. And I would ideally like to have this numerical value done to those words. So I probably just do that in another segment. Okay, thank you. Yes. If you like this presentation, oh, I must thank you for watching. I must thank you for watching because this really would not be fun without believing that someone believing, of course, someone is watching or enjoying or taking their time, and your time is precious as well. So let me thank you for watching this presentation, and if you like the presentation, click the like button and share, because this is how we do it. We share, we subscribe to Actualizing Self-Love. In the meantime, be bright, be filled, and stay ignited. Namaste. And spill over with love.